At 3 a.m., in a Force 9 Bering Sea Street Orme, the Aleutian Fury hauled pots through 30-foot seas. Ice sheathed the rails. Spray froze in the air. 6 men in orange rain gear bent to the pot line, muscles screaming, as the winch dragged the next load from the black water.
Something felt wrong when that pot broke the surface. Too heavy.
The mesh opened to reveal a single brown leather workman's boot, worn and out of place. Inside the boot, a human foot, severed above the ankle, fresh, as if just placed there.
What the hell is that?
Rebate the pot and return it. Now.
We can't just...
John lifted the boot with trembling hands and heaved it over the rail into the churning black. The silence that followed was heavier than the storm. No one spoke. No one logged it. The pot was rebated and sunk back into the deep. The crew filed into the galley, faces gray under the single hanging lamp. No one met John's eyes.
That foot wasn't decomposed. It was fresh, like it had just been walking on something.
The bottom gives gifts, kid. You do not keep them. You do not ask.
What kind of gift is a severed foot?
The kind that reminds you the sea, don't forget. Drop it, or it'll follow you.
The captain never opened the logbook. Not once. He didn't write a single word.
John stared at the leather logbook on the chart table. The page for tonight's haul was clean, as if the pot had never come aboard.
Why isn't anyone writing this down? That was a body part. We just threw it back like bait.
Because the log's for crab, not for what the sea sends back. Forget it. That's an order from the old man.
I am going to watch that logbook. Something's being hidden, and I need to know why.
2 days passed. The storm never fully broke, but the sea settled enough to work. John watched each pot line with new wariness. The next anomaly came at dusk. A pot swung aboard, and Leo's voice cut the wind.
Captain, there's something else in this one.
Inside the mesh, resting on a bed of crab, was an antique gold pocket watch. Its second hand swept smoothly, ticking loud enough to hear over the winch.
That's impossible. That's been down there for God knows how long, and it's still running.
Put it back in the pot. No discussion.
Captain, it's like it's alive.
I said, put it back.
John forced his fingers open and let the watch tumble into the dark water. The ticking seemed to follow it down, echoing in his ears long after the surface closed.
It was meant for someone. Maybe for me.
John found Mike alone in the galley after the watch went over. The older deckhand nursed a cup of coffee, eyes distant.
You said the bottom gives gifts. What else has it given? How often does this happen?
More than you'd sleep well knowing. The old man's been dealing with it since before my time.
He's dodging. Why won't anyone tell me the whole story? Is it always the same person who finds these things? Or does it switch around?
Doesn't matter. You do your job. You don't keep them. That's the only rule.
Mike's jaw tightened. He wouldn't look at John directly, but his words carried a weight that said more than he let on.
He knows it's targeting me. The foot, the watch. They're not random. I am not letting this go, Mike. Something tells me this isn't over. I need to get into that logbook. The answers are in there.
That evening the pots ran again. John's nerves were frayed as the winch hauled the next load from the abyss. Inside the pot, among the crabs, lay a folded paper sealed in translucent oilskin. Water beaded on its surface, refusing to soak through.
Another message. Is this for me too? The handwriting looks almost familiar.
John untangled the oilskin with shaking fingers. The paper inside was yellowed but dry, covered in a tight, elegant script he could not read.
That handwriting. I've seen that slant before, from somewhere in my childhood.
Before John could speak, the captain lunged and snatched the letter from his grasp, his face contorted with rare fury. Without a word, Calvert strode to the rail and threw the letter into the churning wake. The sea swallowed it instantly.
Captain, why won't you let me read it? That was meant for someone on this boat.
It wasn't for you. Get back to the pot.
He's afraid. The captain is afraid of a letter. What does he know?
2 nights later, the pots came up again. John worked the line with hollow eyes, dreading the next haul. Inside the mesh lay a small wooden fish. Its paint faded, its edges worn smooth by decades of current.
A child's carving. What is it doing down there?
John glanced around, then slipped the carving into his pocket before anyone noticed. That night, alone in his bunk, he studied the fish under a penlight.
The shape, it's exactly like the one I carved when I was a kid. I dropped it off Uncle Dave's boat in Kachemak Bay, and there on the belly, JR, my initials. It's my fish. The sea kept it for 15 years, and now it gives it back. It isn't random. It's been tracking me since I was a child. I won't throw it back. It's mine. The sea can have something else.
At shift change, John pulled Leo aside near the bait locker. The carving was already in his hand. John opened his hand. The wooden fish lay in his palm, and Leo's face went white.
What is that thing? Put it away.
It's mine. I carved it when I was a kid. My initials are on it.
You kept a gift? John, you can't. The sea doesn't give things back without a reason. You are inviting something in.
Leo stumbled backward, shaking his head. The other crew on deck stopped their work to stare. Mike appeared, his hand clamping down on John's shoulder.
What did I tell you about keeping gifts? You throw them back. You keep it, and you are marked. The sea will call you.
That night, John couldn't sleep. He stood alone at the rail, the wooden fish digging into his palm through the glove.
It's already calling. The sea knows I've kept it. I can hear it under the hull.
John finally surrendered to exhaustion that night, but sleep was no escape. In the dream, he was drowning. A voice called his name from the abyss, not shouting, but patient. Certain, it spoke his name like a summons. It knew him from childhood, from every wave he ever crossed. He woke with a choked cry, the wooden fish digging into his palm, as if it had tightened around his hand.
I can't keep this, but if I throw it back, it'll still know. It already knows.
He stumbled onto the deck in the freezing dark, the carving a cold weight in his pocket. The sea sounded louder than it should.
It's calling me right now. I can feel it under the hull like a second heartbeat.
The wheelhouse door creaked open. Captain Calvert's silhouette blocked the red instrument glow. He had been watching.
Get some sleep, Riker. The sea doesn't need any more company tonight.
He knows. He knows exactly what I am hearing. He's been through this himself.
The next watch, John waited until the captain was on deck, then slipped into the darkened wheelhouse. The instruments glowed red.
The logbook has to be here. The one he never writes in.
He found the leather-bound book in a drawer under the chart table. The lock was loose from years of salt. It opened with a tug. The pages were different from the deck log, older, handwritten, a list of names and dates stretching back decades. At the bottom of the list, written in fresh ink, John Riker, 3rd season.
Every name has a season number. This isn't just a log, it's a record of the marked. Every man gets his turn.
A footstep sounded in the passageway. John's heart lurched. He closed the book and shoved it back into the drawer as quietly as he could. The wheelhouse door stayed shut. The footsteps faded toward the deck, and John exhaled into the silence.
The captain's been cataloging it for years. Every man on this boat gets his name written down. I am just the latest.
He slipped out of the wheelhouse and returned to his bunk, feeling more trapped than ever. The carving burned in his pocket like an indictment. At dawn, John cornered Mike in the bait locker, the wooden fish in his hand and a new hard edge in his voice.
I saw the logbook, Mike. Every name, every season. You've known about this from the start.
John's mind flashed to the wheelhouse. The red instrument glow, the list he'd found, his own name written in fresh ink.
You broke into the old man's book. You got no idea what you are dealing with, kid.
Then tell me, why my initials on this carving? Why now, on my third season?
A weight fell between them, years of silence, a catechism the crew kept without words.
It's always the third season. The sea returns what belongs. The captain got his fish in '89. Everyone gets something personal.
So, the logbook is a record of the marked the sea has been cataloging us, and I am next.
Mike's voice dropped. There's always one more. The last pot holds the real gift. Don't open it.
The last pot. That's what the captain's been waiting for, and I can't stop it from coming.
John climbed the ladder to the wheelhouse, the wooden fish burning his pocket. At the door, Captain Calvert's silhouette stood inside. He pushed open the door. The captain didn't turn, his hands flat on the chart table, red instrument glow on his rain gear.
Captain. That carving was mine. My initials. From when I was a kid. How does the sea know me?
Calvert said nothing. Only the thrum of the engines and spray against the glass answered him.
You kept it. Now you'll see. Last string at 0500.
He's not surprised. He was waiting for this. He's not protecting me, just managing the inevitable.
Get some sleep, Riker. Tomorrow will be a long day.
No explanation. No ally. Whatever comes, I am alone.
John's jaw tightened until it ached. He turned and left, the captain's silence heavy as the sea.
Fine. Let the last pot come. The sea can send whatever it wants.
That night, on watch, John stood alone at the bow. The carving was a cold lump against his chest. The sea had gone strangely quiet.
My name. I heard my name.
He stepped to the rail. Far below, a faint phosphorescent glow pulsed in the water. Like a doorway to somewhere else, the voice came from the glow. Low, patient, older than the boat. It said, "Come down, John. All the answers are here."
Show me. Show me why.
He swung a leg over the rail, but a freight train hit him from the side, Mike tackling him to the deck, dragging him back.
The marked always hear it. Snap out of it, kid. It ain't you talking.
Mike pinned him, chest heaving. John's head slammed against the frozen deck, and the world snapped back into focus.
I almost went in. It was in my head, and I wanted to go.
It's calling you now. Stay away from the rail. Stay where someone's watching. You are marked, and the sea don't give up.
Mike dragged John to the galley and shoved him into a seat. The others were already there, their faces carved from the same stone.
He's marked. He almost walked over the side tonight. We put him ashore at Aleutian, or we're all dead.
They're going to vote me off, but it won't matter. The sea will follow.
No one's going ashore. He's on his third season. It's his turn. We all had ours.
The galley fell silent. Leo stared at the table. Ray's knuckles whitened around his mug. No one met John's eyes, but no one argued.
They've all had their turn. Mike, Leo, Ray, they faced their own last pot, and now it's mine. I am not just a victim. I am part of a ritual, a sacrifice that keeps this boat sailing.
He stays, but if that voice calls him again, I ain't standing in the way.
You'll stand where I say. String goes out at 0500. Riker takes his own hook.
No choice. No escape. Tomorrow, the sea gets whatever it wants from me.
The last string ran at first light, the pot splashing into a sea the color of old iron.
This is the string. Whatever the sea has been saving, it's down there right now.
The first pot swung aboard empty, just muddy water and a severed crab claw that didn't belong to any crab they knew. Pot after pot came up clean. By noon, the deck was stacked with empties, and the crew avoided looking over the side.
It's playing with you. The sea likes its moment. Don't give it one.
The captain stood at the wheelhouse window, hands clasped behind his back, eyes fixed on the horizon.
He knows exactly when it'll come. He's timed this before.
Silence clamped down on the boat. Even the engines seemed to soften, like they didn't want to be noticed. The line indicator clicked to 1. A single pot still hung 100 feet down, its cable trembling like a plucked string.
Last one. After this, nothing is the same.
The winch screamed as the last pot broke the surface. It came up sideways, so heavy the cable sang, water cascading from the mesh like a shroud.
That weight isn't crab. It's the end of something I can't name.
Inside the mesh, resting in a pool of rust-colored water, was a metal box sealed with decades of corrosion and silence.
Return the whole pot. Do not open that box. That's an order.
The voice is screaming now. Open it. Open it. All the answers are inside.
John's hook caught the lid. With a shriek of rusted metal, the box cracked open. The crew stumbled backward, hands raised. Inside lay a single yellowed index card. The type was old, uneven, but legible. John Michael Riker, Anchorage, Alaska. The 12th of March, 1998.
My full name, my hometown, my birth date, on paper that yellowed before I was born.
John held the card, his fingers trembling, as if it would disintegrate. The date of his birth stared back, typed decades before he existed. The world around him went silent. The sea had spoken his entire existence into a box. The captain stepped through the frozen crew and took the card from John's numb fingers. He read it without expression, his face carved from the same salt and stone as the sea. Then he flung it over the rail without a word. The card caught the wind, spiraled, and slapped into the dark water.
No, that was mine. That was my name.
Stow the gear. We're heading for Dutch.
The crew moved like automatons, coiling lines and lashing gear. No one looked at John.
He knew exactly what it said and threw it away like trash. The sea already knows, so I am just a confirmation.
The Aleutian Fury swung her bow toward land, engines thudding a slow heartbeat under the silence.
The card sank, but its weight stayed. It's inside me now.
The boat steamed home, and John stood alone at the rail, carrying a truth no one would speak. 4 hours. John stayed at the bow, replaying every moment of the season like film. He couldn't stop.
The foot, the watch, the letter, the carving, it was all pointing toward that card. And the card already knew my name.
Leo approached tentatively, a cigarette extended, like a peace offering.
Riker, come inside. You'll freeze out here.
Why, Leo? You all knew. Every one of you knew what was coming.
We all had our turn. The captain, too. He got his card in '89, same as you. Coming back is the only way the sea lets you sleep.
The captain went through this, and he still stays. The sea doesn't just mark you. It claims you.
You come back next season, or the sea don't let go. That's how it works. Ask the captain.
If I leave, it follows. If I come back, I am part of this forever. Either way, I am trapped.
John didn't answer. He stared at the gray horizon, the wooden fish a splinter of his childhood pressing against his ribs. The Aleutian Fury slid into Dutch harbor through a curtain of fog, her hull crusted with ice and silence. John spotted his family on the dock, blurred by mist and distance. He turned his back before they could wave.
Not yet. I can't face them with this thing I am carrying.
He waited until the gangplank cleared, and the dock fell quiet before stepping ashore. A single sodium lamp buzzed overhead. Captain Calvert was already standing beside it, as if he'd been waiting for years.
You need to know.
Yes.
Calvert gestured toward the far end of the dock, away from the lights where the fog would swallow their words.
He's finally going to tell me. The whole thing.
The captain turned, and in the damp silence, the truth that had rusted inside him for decades began to surface.
In 1989, I was your age, 3rd season. The pot came up with a box, just like yours.
The same rusted metal, the same impossible weight. He had been told to return it unopened. He opened it anyway.
Inside was a card. Charles Henry Calvert, Cordova, Alaska. September 5, 1955, my own birth.
The card was typed on the same yellowed stock, the same typewriter marks. The sea had catalogued him before he drew breath.
I threw it back. I tried to forget. But those who leave and never return, they drown in their sleep. Every night, coming back is the only peace. The sea keeps you as long as you keep the boat. Every third season, you get your card again.
John's face went white. The wooden fish in his pocket seemed to pulse against his ribs.
So I am not just marked, I am owned. The sea's name is on me now.
The captain's eyes held a lifetime of dark water. He had been waiting for John to understand.
So now you know. You decide.
Calvert reached inside his coat and produced a contract folded 3 times. The paper was as soft as a prayer flag from decades of salt and wind.
Next season. Same boat. It's yours if you want it.
John took the papers. The pen was an old fountain pen, the ink already cold and thick from the winter air.
If I don't sign, the sea will find me anyway. In dreams, in waking, no one escapes. If I sign, I become part of the catalog. My name already there, waiting for the next card.
His hand hovered over the line. He remembered the card, the boot, the voice calling from under the hull.
I'll sign.
John put the pen to the line and wrote his name. The ink bit into the paper like a brand on skin. The captain took the contract and nodded. He didn't smile, but a decade of darkness lifted from his shoulders.
The sea will get its card again in 3 years, and I'll be here to give it. I have no choice.
By the following October, the Aleutian Fury's decks were scraped clean, her engine tuned, and a new crew list was posted in the wheelhouse. John stood at the rail as a greenhorn stumbled aboard, duffel bag in hand, his rain gear still stiff from the store.
Another one. He'll get his own card on his 3rd season, just like me.
The kid's eyes were bright with the fear of the unknown, but he had no idea what waited below.
I was him 3 years ago. No one warned me. That's the tradition.
Captain Calvert stood in the wheelhouse doorway. He caught John's eye and gave the smallest nod, the only acknowledgement that passed between them.
The nod said everything. You are one of us now. You'll know when to speak, and when to let them find out.
The new deckhand looked toward John for reassurance, but John turned back to the rail without a word.
I won't be the one to tell him. The sea tells its own.
The Aleutian Fury slipped out of Dutch Harbor, bound for the pots, the cards, and the endless dark. The cycle never broke. The sea stretched black and flat, a silence heavier than any storm the Fury had ever seen. John stood alone at the rail, the carving a cold splinter against his ribs.
3 years from now, it'll be my card again. Same box, same paper, same sea.
The voice was silent tonight. It didn't need to speak because it already knew he was coming back. The Aleutian Fury cut west, a small light on an endless black plain. From a distance, she was a speck, a single white dot on the world's darkest page. The camera pulled back until the boat dissolved into the mist, leaving only the sea. The sea kept its secrets, indifferent to the men it marked and the cards it collected.
I was never its victim. I am its record keeper.
And the boat vanished into the Bering Sea, bound for the next card, next season, and next sailor.